If I could come back and do it all over, I would come back as an SEC football coach. 9 of them make at least $4 million per season now that Dan Mullen has extended his contract at Mississippi State through 2018 and earns an annual salary of $4.275 million. 9 SEC coaches out of a 14-team league. So theoretically, if you finish in 9th place in the SEC, you have earned your $4 million a year salary. So if you finish, let's say, 9th place, 3-5 in the SEC, you have earned your salary. Let's focus our attention on the latest in the $4 million club. Dan Mullen said at today's press conference that they've only scratched the surface at Mississippi State. They have built a program with sustained success. We are trying to win a championship. We are going to win a championship. I firmly believe that. Okay, he is 46-31 at Mississippi State. That's just under 60% winning percentage. In the SEC, though, he's only won 22 of 48 games. That's 22-26. That doesn't sound like $4 million per year, but let's put it into context and be fair to Mississippi State and Dan Mullen in particular. Mississippi State, it is difficult for this program to compete in what's been the best division in college football. Alabama, LSU, Ole Miss, Auburn, and now Texas A&M and Arkansas. It's loaded there in the SEC West. We all know that. So that 46-31 record is the best at Mississippi State, winning just under 60% of its games since going back to the 1940s in Starkville. Dan Mullen's taken Mississippi State to 5 consecutive bowl games and won 3 bowl games. Both of those are records in Starkville. A.D. Scott Strickland said today, again, he started under the theme of consistent success at Mississippi State, appearing in elite bowl games. Okay, this is my first contention with the statements made by both Strickland and Mullen today. Elite bowl games, plural. Mississippi State went to the Orange Bowl. They lost to Georgia Tech this past season, culminating a fine 10-3 season in which they were ranked at one point number 1 in the country. And again, 6-2 in the SEC, much better than the previous 16-24 in the SEC for Dan Mullen. So congratulations to Mississippi State, but they have not appeared in elite bowl games. The Liberty Bowl, the Gator Bowl, the Music City Bowl, not elite bowl games. Also, it was uttered many times during the news conference today by both Mullen and Strickland that the team reached the number 1 ranking. They were, in fact, the number 1 team in college football this season for 5 weeks. But what you accomplish during the season really isn't an accomplishment unless it's completed. So being number 1 ranked at any time in the season, you could be number 1 and then lose 5 consecutive games. We've seen it time and time again, teams reach the number 1 ranking at some point during the season, then by the end of the season, they're off in oblivion and not even ranked. Now, that didn't happen with Mississippi State. They still finished a fine 10-3, top 15 in the country. But the number 1 ranking means nothing if you don't hold on to it. So mentioning time and time again today that they had the number 1 ranking in the country, again, means nothing. They had beaten 2 decent football teams at that point in Auburn and Texas A&M when they faced Ole Miss and Alabama, and in the bowl game against Georgia Tech. They looked bad. They lost those games. They finished with 3 losses. Number 1 ranking midseason means nothing, should not be mentioned. Also, let's keep in mind that they came about that close to having a losing season in 2013 and Dan Mullen possibly not even getting an opportunity to come back to Starkville. They were 4-6 and barely squeaked out a win at a winless, SEC winless Arkansas team in overtime, and then won the Egg Bowl in miracle fashion when Bo Wallace fumbled going in for the winning touchdown. Or else they don't get to a bowl game to win a Liberty Bowl game against Rice 44-7 and finish a 7-6 campaign in 2013. Well, that aside, they did accomplish that, did get to the bowl game, finished 7-6, and that set them up for a nice 10-2 regular season in 2014. Rivals and 24/7 Sports Composite have them ranked 18th and 16th in recruiting classes here in 2015. So the future is bright at Mississippi State, but let's put it into context. Again, they're going to have to face year in, year out Ole Miss, Mississippi State, or Ole Miss LSU, Texas A&M, Arkansas, Auburn, and Alabama. It's going to be difficult to maintain 10-win seasons at Mississippi State. I believe if they can win 7 and 8 games a year, finish close to 500 in the SEC, that's what we can expect out of Dan Mullen and what they would term continued success at Mississippi State. Winning championships, I don't believe, is attainable. Is it possible? Yes. Is it probable? No. Would love to hear what you have to say about Dan Mullen's contract extension through 2018 and Mississippi State football right here on Mark Rogers TV.